created. The world you did not even know was created by you. A world you must learn to wrestle back from the difficult master you have, your own identity. The identity you were taught to create through school, society, family, religion, etc. An identity where you were told to become something, and in the process you lost real truth. What is that truth? That we are taught to build our own cage, create our own jailer, and then become a slave to our own creation. The creation that gets to pour our energies into it, and this leaves us exhausted, drained, and most sadly of all, empty. But there is hope. What is the hope? If you have the ability to build a cage, then you also have the ability to create a totally different you. A you which will enable you to be whatever you want to be. I will teach you my journey, my understanding, so that you can learn to be free. Real freedom. Today, we have to discuss a fundamental truth. It is the most basic form that you, who you believe you are, is not truth. It is a lie. You are not the you think you are. The identity that you were forced to be through school, society, family is not a true you. It is simply a created you by you. So what is the real truth? The journey I will share with you is all about the discovery and learning how to sift through your creation to discover what is truth. We spend our formative years being told in every way what we are to become. We are told to choose our career, choose the things we like to do, choose our homes, choose our life partners, which is to develop oneself into a perfect form of oneself. Now, if we have lived our lives building up a complex layer of perceived truth over our lifetime, e.g. who we are, what we like, our jobs, our relationship, this is not much different than the peeling off the layers of an onion we have created about ourselves. How do we find truth? We first have to test what is there. And the test is simple. If we can find it, work out the perceived truth, and it can be challenged, changed, or deconstructed, then it was never a real truth. It is nothing more than a make-believe truth which was created by you. So we go deeper and deeper into ourselves. We find each layer, every layer can be challenged, changed, or deconstructed. We learn that everything about us is created by ourselves, and it is all fantasy. The most bizarre truth I have discovered is that at the base of that onion of created self, there is basically nothing at all. Every part of yourself is made up, all of it, except the very center of yourself, which is like a point of light, where there is no thought, no concepts, but at which all things are at peace. When I first discovered this place 5 or so years ago, I was surprised that all thought was there, but it wasn't thinking, and it was looking at me, waiting for me to make a decision. I also found all emotion was there, but there was no feeling, and it was waiting for me to make a decision. And there was all energy, but the energy was still, and it was looking at me to make a decision. It was at this moment I realized that after years of digging deeper and deeper, I had found 3 things which could not be removed: emotion, thought, and energy. But they could all be brought to a point of neutrality or waiting. But when I meditated on this longer, I realized that these 3 things were looking to something deeper still, so I meditated deeper again. I found during this meditation, when they were looking at the part of me which was nothing, at the same time everything, I found during this meditation that what they were looking at was a part of me which was nothing, and at the same time everything. Why nothing? Because at this place there was no thought, no emotion, and no energy. It was devoid of all, but at the same time, incredibly powerful at the same time. So I stayed here longer and longer, and after a time I understood. This part of myself is the only real truth I had found. I was nothing, and everything was looking to that nothing to build things with it. I looked out again. I saw that I had 3 things to build with. Every emotion that could be had, every thought which could be had, and an almost endless ocean of energy. I finally understood that I had in my hands the power to create everything. I realized that if I chose, I could build any version of myself I wanted. I realized that everything in this world was built with these 3 things. So there are a number of lessons which I learned and had to work through to get to this place. I went through years of meditation, spending at least an hour every day, and I had to experience I understood that all emotions are good. I released the bound-up energy stuck in unexpressed emotions so that they are no longer charged. I rewired thinking processes and understood that words are not a language in the mind and that there is a better way to think. That this is to feel with emotion instead, but the emotions need to be clean. To learn that every single creation you have is a mixture of emotions, thought, and energy wound together like a web, and that everything around you is created this way. To learn to slow down enough to start to sort through the already created you, pull it apart, rewire it by swapping out different emotions, thoughts, and energy mixes, to rebuild the concept of self so that it could be empower the center part of you to see the world more clearly in a way that benefits you instead. To learn eventually how to see the world through the concepts of emotion, thought, energy mixes, and learn how to build yourself to meet the world, to learn how to weave you into the world. I have become convinced that this is our destiny. We are all nothings. We are not doctors, janitors, gurus, astronauts, parents, etc. We are just nothings. But we have had 3 things to build with. Every single emotion that is possible, every thought or concept imagined, and as much energy as we can think of. We are nothings, and we are seeking to discover the nothing we are. Build a working identity around our nothings. We are nothings, and we are seeking to discover the nothings we are. Build a working identity around our nothing place so that we can really become a part of this world. We have all the power to have a connected and fulfilling life with all the flexibility to meet and challenge every life experience. Jesus said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it will bear much fruit." The created self you have created so far is a cruel master. This small grain of wheat will need to be sacrificed so that a new you can be created that allows for the real you to become a part of this world. When you build a new you, you will become whole and in ever-increasing capabilities, but you will also never become fixed. Because the real you, that nothing, wants to experience everything, and it has the power to do so once it learns how to. Let's work together to work out how.